Hello again and welcome to another edition of Newsmaker of the Week. I'm Leon Warden and I'm here with the Executive Director of the Santa Clarita Valley Committee on Aging, Rachelle Dardeau.
Yes.
Welcome. First time
you.
on the show. I was going to say new Executive Director, but I guess it's been a little while now.
Almost a year.
Almost a year. How do you like it so far?
Love it. Love it. It's wonderful to be able to work and make a difference in the community where I live. I just absolutely love it.
And the Committee on Aging, well, people know, I think, the Committee on Aging as the Senior Center.
Right.
They're familiar with the Senior Center. What do you do there?
What do we do there? What do I do there? The Committee on Aging is dedicated to helping seniors in the Santa Clarita Valley, to helping seniors and actually the community in general, because we also work with seniors and we work with their adult children who might have issues or facing issues with aging parents. So we work with a whole spectrum, and not to mention a volunteer force that's multi-generational. But the Committee on Aging is the driving force behind the Santa Clarita Valley Senior Center, and what we do there is oh my gosh, it's an amazing amount of things that we do there besides recreation and entertainment and activities for seniors and for adult children of seniors. We also do a lot of social services for seniors. We provide nutritional meals. We provide care management for our seniors. We have recreation, lifelong learning classes, help them with legal issues, help advocate for medical issues, provide transportation, and on and on and on.
So is the Senior Center a government agency?
No.
Or do the seniors pay for all the services they get?
It's a combination of both.
No. Say neither.
No. It's a combination of both and neither. We are not a government agency. We are not run by the city. We are not run by the county. We are not run by the state.
So you have to beg for money like everybody else?
Yes, we do. And the reason I say kind of both, a lot of our funding are government contracts. So we provide services that the city of Santa Clarita pays us to provide and that the county pays us to provide. So without government, without county, state, and city, or federal, in fact, dollars and their budgets, we would not be able to provide the services that we provide. We are a private nonprofit, and so you're right, we depend on donations. And
I would imagine that if you just stuck to those government contracts and only provided those services, that wouldn't be any fun.
Well, it wouldn't be any fun. And no, it would not be any fun, and it would be rather limited. We would really have to scale back. If we depended only on government contracts, we would have to scale back quite a bit.
How many people do take advantage of the services nowadays?
I would say we have about between 9,000 and 10,000 individuals that pass through our doors, but we provide in a year. But we provide over 250 classes every month. So that's lifelong learning classes. It's dancing, it's painting, it's drawing, it's calligraphy, it's archaeology. It's all kind of interesting, amazing classes. And then we provide well over 130,000 meals in 1 year. And
some of those meals are served at lunchtime at the Senior Center on Market Street, but a lot of them aren't.
A lot of them aren't. Most of them aren't. Most of them are served through our home delivered meal program.
And what is that? Once a day, or?
It's once a day. It's the Senior Center nutritional program. Elderly Nutrition Program is the government title. That program provides lunch. That's what we provide. And we provide about 80,000 home delivered meals a year and about 55,000 congregate meals is what it's called at the Senior Center and at 2 other sites actually, at Bouquet Canyon Senior Apartments and also in Friendly Valley.
Yeah, I was going to get to that in a second, but tell me a little bit about those people. What are the circumstances of the people who receive a home delivered meal?
Home delivered meals are, it's what we call a qualified program. People have to qualify and meet the requirements for this particular program. And some of those qualifications are that they must be homebound. They must not have a way to get out and about to, for example, to have lunch at the Senior Center. So they must be homebound and they must have a doctor's notification or prescription, if you will, acknowledgement that they are homebound and they cannot provide those services for themselves.
And I've heard that in a lot of cases this might be the only contact that they have in a day with another human being.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And our home delivered meal drivers, I have to tell you, that is a special group of people because they care so much about these seniors. We will have home delivered meal drivers that come in and say, you know, they were slow to get to the door today. We need to make sure that they're okay. And then our care managers can follow up. Or in many cases, home delivered meal drivers have called 911 or made the effort to make sure the senior was okay.
Right. Yeah. What's the senior population here in the Santa Clarita Valley these days, and how does it compare to other areas of Southern California?
The senior population is about 40,000, somewhere around there, and I think it's growing actually twofold in Santa Clarita. Typically in most other communities, you know, the population is aging, and of course we have people who are aging here. But we also have a very young, family-oriented population who are bringing mom and dad to live here. And we're very fortunate in this community. We have many senior apartments, we have senior communities, so we have assisted living facilities. So adult children who find themselves being caregivers will bring mom and dad to live here, and it's hard enough being a caregiver, but being a long distance caregiver is such a challenge.
Well, how is the Committee on Aging positioned to meet this increasing demand? I mean, you know, we all know the state of California is broke, and the county of Los Angeles is pretty big and has a lot of different interests pulling on it financially. Do you see more of the financial burden, if you will, shifting onto the city, or what do you see? What's your crystal ball showing?
My crystal ball, You know, with the economic times the way they are, it's kind of hard to look into that crystal ball. Whether our financial responsibility, some of that shifts to the city, that's going to be, of course, for the city council to decide. But one thing we will have to do is what more and more nonprofits are learning, you have to run like a for-profit. So some of the services that we provide will have to be fee-based services. And we're looking at what those services should be. You know, what kind of services can we charge without harming the population we're trying to serve? So that's one way that we're looking. We're also looking at opportunities to consolidate different services or consolidate different departments, if you will, restructure our workforce, restructure the way we provide the services to our seniors, and to look at the most cost-efficient ways that we can do that without diminishing the services. Because I have to tell you, of all the senior centers in LA County, Santa Clarita Valley Senior Center is one of the senior centers that provides the most services. We're not necessarily the largest in square area, in square footage, but we are one of the ones that provides the most services in LA County.
And you mentioned that it's not just the facility on Market Street. You have some other facilities in town that you operate.
That's right.
Co-own and operate, I guess.
That's right, that's right. We are partners in 3 senior housing communities, Bouquet Canyon Senior Apartments, Canyon Country Senior Apartments, and Castaic Lake. And so we work with them to make sure that the seniors are getting what they need as far as social, nutrition, various issues that come up with aging. So we are partners with them. We also, like I said, provide meals at a lodge in Friendly Valley, and we're actually working with quite a few other organizations to partner and collaborate. How, again, can we provide the services for a reasonable cost so that we can continue to provide these services? Our senior population is only growing. And we need to be there to meet the needs of future seniors.
What are the services that are provided at those other facilities, those at the apartment? Mostly
at the apartments, it's congregate meals. There are some recreational activities that are provided.
So do you have actual staff there, full-time?
No, we have staff that goes there. We have a care manager that visits and will meet with the residents of the senior apartments to help provide the services that they need, help advocate for them, make sure that whatever new forms the government puts out, that our seniors are able to complete those forms and that they get the services that they are entitled to.
We'll take a quick break and come back and want to learn a little bit more about you.
Okay.
You promised me the world. Is this what you had in mind?
Every choice we make has a consequence.
Help EarthShare and its members restore balance to the world. Visit earthshare.org and see what you can do. EarthShare, one environment, one simple way to care for it.
Hello, I'm Gail Pinsker. You're watching SCV TV, local television for Santa Clarita.
Here in the Santa Clarita Valley, we get so little rain. But we have 3 easy ways to save water every day, all year long. 1. Make sure your sprinklers work and don't aim at the sidewalk. You'll save 500 gallons. 2. Don't forget this 25-cent washer to fix leaks and save 600 gallons. 3. Plant things native to our valley and save 750 gallons. It's so easy, even I can do it. But you're the one who can save money and water for our future.
Welcome back. We're here with Rachelle Dardeau, the Executive Director of the Santa Clarita Valley Committee on Aging, a.k.a. the Senior Center, and other facilities, as we've learned. Tell me about Rachelle. You've only been at the Senior Center about a year now, but you've been in the Santa Clarita Valley longer than that.
I have. I've been here almost 20 years. I've lived here.
What have you been doing all that time? Where you been?
I've been working. I spent quite a time. I actually worked for Henry Mayo Newhall Hospital.
Doing what?
When I first moved here. I was the director of one of the adult day health care facilities, the one in Friendly Valley.
Okay.
And after that, moved into the hospital, back onto the hospital campus to head up an operational redesign program.
Does Henry Mayo
way
still
back when.
have adult day care? I can't remember.
No, they don't own that property anymore. There is an adult day health care here in Santa Clarita, but it is not owned by the hospital anymore.
Not affiliated with the hospital.
No.
Okay.
And the Senior Center actually has an adult daycare program.
Yeah, well, tell me about that.
Well, the adult daycare program that we have provides respite for seniors mostly who have some sort of memory impairment, especially Alzheimer's disease, and adults who have maybe post-stroke or
So somebody
post-head
brings
trauma.
them there and drops them off and picks them up at the end of the day,
That's
or what?
exactly right. That's exactly what happens. And while they're there during the day, tons of activities that help what we hope prevent or slow down the progression of Alzheimer's disease. Lots of intellectually stimulating activities, a lot of physical exercise for seniors who, some are in wheelchairs, but we still do exercise, lots of stretching. And then we provide lunch and we provide snacks. And, you know, we talk about respite for the senior citizen, but it's also respite for the person who cares for them, their loved one who is responsible for their care.
What are the qualifications, I guess you'd say, of the caregivers, of the people who are spending the time with the Alzheimer's patients and whatever during the day? I mean, are they clinicians or nurses or just volunteers or what?
The adult daycare program is what's called a social daycare program. So it is not rooted in health care. It is a social model where we focus on social activity, social engagement. So our caregivers are people who have experience being a personal caregiver for seniors, but we do a lot of training with them on especially how to communicate with someone or how to interact with someone who has dementia.
Because I would imagine that it could, if you're a volunteer or whatever the situation is, if you're if you're new to it, to spending time with Alzheimer's patients, it could probably be extremely frustrating.
It can be. It absolutely can be.
It takes a particular kind of person to do that kind of work.
It does. It takes a person who's willing to take that risk because it can be very frustrating to deal with someone who has Alzheimer's disease. Frustrating for the caregiver. And mostly because the caregiver wants so much to have that person have a sense of normalcy in their lives. And when you have dementia, that's not there, and it will never be there. It's Alzheimer's, of course, is progressive.
Let's go back to what you were doing at Henry Mayo. Cut you off with that. Tell me. Go back to telling me about yourself.
That's okay. That's okay. Worked with an operational redesign program, and from there I spent 6 years with the Alzheimer's Association, based down at Wilshire Boulevard. And
so you've got personal experience in dealing with Alzheimer's patients. Okay.
I do. And for the past 25 years, I've worked in geriatrics, focusing on people with dementia. And even before I moved to California, I was working with people with dementia for another 12 years or so back in Louisiana. So the oddest thing is I did not want to work with seniors when I was in graduate school.
I was just going to ask you that. What brought you to this? What was attractive about this?
What was attractive? It was interesting. In graduate school, I really did not want to work with seniors. I thought it would be frightening and depressing. I just wanted to be in private practice with people who were not seniors. But, you know, in my mind, God has a way of putting you where you need to be. And I did, for my background in neuropsychology, started doing assessments on seniors and young seniors who had some cognitive problems, and from there went on into dementia care and realized that this is an opportunity to certainly make a difference in someone's life, but it's the ability to relate to another human being who has some cognitive impairment on the level of another adult. I think there's a myth out there that people with dementia are like children, and they aren't. They're adults who have some cognitive impairment. And so that's sort of been, over the 25 years, the one thing that has always been at the core of what I've done is educate people about dementia, how to work with people with dementia, how to provide dignity in their lives, and how to give meaning and purpose to their lives. So as the aging process, as people notice some cognitive decline, that's no reason why people should start treating them like children. They're adults with wonderful stories, which is the thing I love about the seniors at the Senior Center. The stories are amazing, what some of our seniors have contributed to our community and just to our own personal lives in ways that we don't even know about, you know, through their careers. It's a joy to be there. It's such a blessing to be able to meet people like that.
What are your biggest challenges there right now?
The biggest challenges right now are funding because of the economy. That is the #1 biggest challenge.
Well, I can ask anybody sitting in this chair that question.
And they're going to say,
no matter what year it is,
that's
they're
right.
going to say funding.
You're right,
So what
and
else?
it is funding. Another challenge is space. We are rapidly outgrowing our space on Market Street, and so we are supposed to be open Monday through Friday, and we have things going on Saturdays and Sundays and into the evenings. So that's kind of a challenge, space.
And I know I've heard over the years, or in recent years, about what, an expansion or some remodeling or something that's supposed to be happening, or is there a remodel in the works, or are you going to be growing?
Yes, yes. We'll have to if we want to continue and expand the services that we provide. There was a huge remodel last October, and that was thanks to Make a Difference Day. A slew of volunteers, over 150 volunteers, showed up on our property and remodeled the administration building and did landscaping. And so we're hoping this next Make a Difference Day will remodel a different part of the building.
Okay, but we're not looking at the county's putting a couple $1 million into the Senior Center anytime soon for a facility expansion.
Well, if they would like, if they would like to, I would certainly be open to that, and I will certainly.
I just couldn't remember if there was anything on the drawing board right now.
Not to my knowledge, and not to my knowledge. The Committee on Aging is always looking to the future and how we're going to accommodate the growing need for the senior population in the Santa Clarita Valley. And do we have in our long-term plans the plan to have a new facility? Absolutely. And so things that we are doing now are growing toward that goal.
So you are putting those steps, you're taking those steps in that direction?
We are. We're laying the groundwork for that.
The city of Santa Clarita has its, Newhall Community Center for the other end of the age spectrum.
Right.
In Newhall, and now they're putting one. They're going to open up another facility in Canyon Country.
Right.
So
that's right.
I would imagine that you're probably looking at how hard are you looking at a facility in Canyon Country or wherever?
Well, that is the main decision we have to make. Do we put our efforts and funds into building a newer satellite central location, or do we stay where we are and build satellite centers or provide services in satellite centers?
Right.
So what makes the most sense for the funding that we have and to meet the needs of the future? And that's where we are right now.
I mean, there are 3 facilities right now around in other parts of town where you've got an involvement.
Right.
I would imagine maybe one of the first steps is to actually provide some programs in those places.
And that's happening. So, but I think the first thing that we need to do is find out where is the senior population growing in the Santa Clarita Valley. It's not enough to say that the population is aging, and then where are they going? Where are they living? Are the community?
Where are these seniors concentrated?
That's right.
Where are they?
Are the seniors concentrated in one area of town? Are we building new communities, senior communities throughout the valley? What's going on and what's the future? And so we're looking.
Do you know some of those answers?
No, I don't yet. I don't know. We have speculation based on what we've been doing, but we want a scientific
you can sit there
assessment.
and look at Valencia age.
Yes. Yes.
brand new 40 years ago, and
Right.
young families and everything, and now there's hasn't been as much turnover in the houses as there was in years past.
Right.
And so there are a lot more people aging in place in Valencia.
That's right. That's right. But
But I guess all that sort of thing is anecdotal.
It is. And so what we want is some good solid data to back up what we believe is true. And until we have that data, we certainly are not going to invest large amounts of time or money into making plans that may or may not meet the needs of the community. Because ultimately, that's the goal, is to meet the needs of the community. And so where is this community, and where do we think they will be in the future based on the data that we collect today?
And who is this? Who makes the decision? Who is this mysterious committee on aging? I mean, who are the people who are, when you say we, I mean, it's not you, and it's
Right.
not necessarily the county on its
Right.
own, and it's not necessarily the city on its own. The committee, this committee, who is this committee that runs the show?
This committee that runs the show is an incredible group of citizens of the Santa Clarita Valley who have a passion for assisting seniors. And it's private volunteer board members. Don Kimball from New Holland is on our board. Rick Patterson from Owen Patterson Owen, an attorney, is on our board. Maria Gutzeit is on our board. We have Greg Nutter. We have Jeff Pollard. We have a group, Dan Mortensen, Peggy Rasmussen. We have quite a group of concerned, caring citizens who want to know, what can we do, where are the seniors going, what is happening in this valley, and how can we meet those needs?
So ultimately, these decisions are being made by local people.
Yes,
I mean,
they
people
are.
who are viewers, the names that people recognize.
That's right.
People know, or names
That's right.
people know, or
That's right.
names they at least recognize, are the people who are making
That's
these
right.
decisions. It's not
That's right.
somebody else from
No.
Sacramento or whatever telling
No.
you what to do.
No, and that's important. It's people who live and work in this community, who know this community. And before we do anything like build a satellite building or build a new building or move services around, we expect to have community input. This is not going to be the Committee on Aging, is the end all and be all, and we certainly don't know
It's pretty
all of the
local
answers.
community. I mean, in my experience, people aren't shy about telling
No.
them what they want.
No, they are not. And they're not shy about giving their opinion about what you're doing either. And I think that's great, though. I mean, if you don't understand what's wrong or what could be improved, then you can't improve it. And ultimately, again, that is the goal, is to meet the needs of the seniors in this community.
What do you want to leave us with?
Oh, I want to leave you with, I think, how lucky Santa Clarita Valley is to have the Committee on Aging and to have the Senior Center. I think it is a vital asset to this community, and it provides services that otherwise the city would have to provide or the county would have to provide. And I'm just grateful that we have it. I'm certainly grateful and honored to be a part of it.
Rachelle Dardeau, thank you for joining us. I know it's a tough job that you've got, and I wish you all the best of success in it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us, and thank you for joining us. If you missed any portion of this program, you can see it again and again on SCV TV. Check back here, Time Warner Cable Channel 20, AT&T Uverse 99, Sunday 8:30 a.m., Thursday 9 p.m. for another Newsmaker of the Week.